thank you for being here, Richard, for the
You're welcome.
developers, Code Vipassana developer leaders, and community leaders, some folks in the call summit. There are also some folks from the startup event, which is right after this, but that's okay. Feel free to hang out if you're interested, a couple of you. The next one would be specifically focused to startups, but the first one that we're going to have the roundtable is for developers, communities.
Who's been with you the longest on Code Vipassana?
The longest, Kiran,
How many seasons?
All the seasons.
What?
from the beginning.
Amazing. Have we gotten him a T-shirt or something? Does he?
Oh, they've got
some
a
prize?
lot of things.
Yeah.
Kiran, you
Right.
care to weigh in there?
Yeah, we did get a lot. We got the Nest home. Then we
That's
had a lot
good.
of T-shirts every season.
That's good. It's really impressive. Congrats.
He's also the GDG Cloud lead for Kochi. It's a state in the southern
excellent,
India, a city in the southern India. So we are going to go around the table a bit later, but right now I'm going to start off with lightning questions. You don't have to answer in a lightning speed. You feel
Okay.
free to take your time.
Thank you.
So we'll start off with the theme of this one. It's for future-proofing the developer ecosystem. We have folks on the call as well. We'll come around when we are doing around the table. We'll introduce you all as well. So as for vision for 2026 for developers and developer leaders, outlining a regional and global focus for practitioners, what does success look like for a developer in this evolving ecosystem?
I guess there's three categories. There's what's good for developers, there's what's good for Google, and what we hope for from you, to be honest with you. So I think that what's good for developers piece is everybody who's in our ecosystem, I think more than any other should feel like when they're with us, they are ahead, or they're at least caught up with AI. They're not feeling like they're chasing everything or falling behind. Like our ecosystem more than any other should feel like they are at least caught up or ahead. And so that'll be success for me with developers, that you're not anxious that I'm falling behind or using the wrong tools or things like that. Are you confident with them though? Hands on. I've loved all the work that you've been doing and folks here on not just knowing things, but knowing how to do things. Hands on. Like the people in this community, developers in India, developers that you're leading, are just confident because they've done it before. They've tried it. They've gone hands on. They've built. That will be success for us. I don't want people who have paper expertise, like they've just looked at something before. I want them to be experts because they've used it and they figured it out. Now there's, of course, things Google itself wants, let's be honest. There's, we desperately want to win AI dev tools and AI workloads this year. We want people to see Google Cloud as the best choice for their next app. If it's not their current one, fine. I want to win everybody's next app. How do we make sure that when they build with AI or they use AI tooling, they do that with us? That's a huge focus for all of us this year at Google. We have to earn it. No one will give that to us just because we ask. They have to be great tools. They have to be great engagement from us, but that is success for us this year. And then, to be honest with you, success with you all, I think we'll end the year feeling like it was great if you've helped us activate and retain a bunch of developers in this ecosystem. Not just that they're aware of stuff. Our team doesn't care as much about just awareness. It's someone gotten their hands on. Did they not just use it at one workshop, but they used it the next week and the next week and the next week? So are we building habits? We are successful with you all if we have scaled by working with you and building habits in your communities.
Thanks for that, Richard. I've been taking notes, so in
So
between.
yeah,
so
change
that I
your goals
write.
too. All right.
Next, about architectural shifts, right? What are your personal preferences or insights into the technology and frameworks that are currently redefining how we build?
Such a weird time because code has become so disposable at this point. Like it's amazing to know a language, and you should know a programming language or four, but I don't know how much it matters right now. I mean, I can take an idea and generate in Python or Dart or Go or Java, and it's all the same to some extent. So understanding the languages and using the right frameworks and things like that, I wonder if more over time it's going to matter more to the AI itself than to us. Like I can just tell Gemini to build me an agent solution with ADK. Pick which one you want. Pick Java, sounds good. Pick this. So on one hand, the code is becoming more disposable one way or the other. What are we going to do about that? I don't know, but that's a reality. I don't know if I'd want to train somebody to just be unbelievable in a language. Somebody needs to be, but not most of us. And so are we learning some of the more, I don't know, fundamental things? Are we learning design patterns? Are we learning core architecture, security, resilience? Frankly, software engineering. I just read something this morning that showed that AI teams are, again, producing tons of code, but they're really getting bottlenecked on delivery because the rest of their pipeline isn't ready. They haven't done full software engineering of CI/CD, of release management, security scanning. And then are we doing good database design, good data strategies, or are we just doing a solution with AI that works for 10 users but falls apart at 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 or a million? Yeah, so how do we learn quality attributes? I used to be an architect years ago, and we used to learn a lot about quality attributes, maintainability, reliability, securability. Like, those still matter a ton, and AI by default isn't giving me these enterprise-grade hardened solutions. I need that. I need your human judgment to do that. So are we treating people to be product engineers, not just coders, not just programmers? But my colleague of mine believes every developer is going to become an architect. I don't know, maybe, but I think you at least maybe move to being a product engineer where you're looking at the product itself, the building of it, the deploying of it, the operating of it. I think that's the future.
Awesome. Product engineering. That's an interesting approach. Okay, so on that trend going towards vibe coding, how does high-level abstraction and AI-augmented coding shift focus from syntax to system design, and has changed the way we look at hands-on growth and learning in tech?
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, we just added a billion builders in our tech ecosystem. Like, everybody who's even tech adjacent, even if you don't understand this stuff, can now at least build something, whether that's in a spreadsheet. You can build a little agent to help you update a bunch of things, build a little personal component, use AI Studio or anti-gravity and build literal software, which is unbelievable. So what does that mean? I just got out of another session where they were asking, what does that even mean for developers? 'Cause a lot of software engineers don't like vibe coding, I think, because it lets everyone do what they do, which feels uncomfortable. Because if you're a software developer for at least the last 15, 20 years, you are the boss. Like, you are the top of the food chain. You're the one everyone's fighting over, giving you 9 offers of jobs, all these things. And all of a sudden, what do you mean, anybody can do software? Like, I don't like that at all. So you've had some software engineers who don't like this trend because it's actually made everyone do, at least to some level, not as good, but at some level, what they can do. I think that's a mistake. I think we should be embracing the idea that all of us can build. I just don't believe that. I think everyone can build, but only software engineers should be letting software leave their laptop or go to multi-user services. It's okay if I build a dumb prototype, who cares? Do I want someone with no technical skill building multi-user software or pushing it out of their machine into a certain, I don't think so. So how do we just understand the right way to use these things? And again, still teach what we talked about, those architecture principles, others to engineers. So embrace vibe coding, it changes everything. Everyone's a builder, it's unbelievable. We've seen at Google, right, that a year ago, some of our teams started using AI extremely aggressively, and we're shipping almost on a weekly basis with the Gemini CLI every week. Product managers could not keep up. And so the engineers started skipping the product managers. Product managers had to pick up. And all of a sudden, our PMs now actually build prototypes. They go hands-on. And then the user research people fell behind. And then everyone was just skipping user research. Okay, they had to pick up. So everyone doesn't pick this up at the same time. There will be different speeds. But I think as everyone realizes they don't have to wait for another team to do certain things, everybody can build something, even if they're not an expert. I think that's awesome. Just how do we make sure we respect the boundaries between what's messing around and what's production-grade tech?
Thank you, Richard. But what do you tell them when these experienced software engineers follow up with you or ask questions like that? Or not ask questions, they're not particularly fond of the way things are. Do you have anything common that you tell them?
There's what I want to say, and then there's what I do say. Is right too. On one hand, it's like, suck it up. Like, you got to figure it out. That you don't gatekeep, right? We want to have more people in our industry. We want more people feeling like they're not scared to try this tech. So you gotta get used to it. On the other hand, look, a lot of our identities are changing with this AI stuff. Like, do we need testers the same way? Do we need product managers, program managers, analysts, architects, all the same way? No, those jobs are changing. I think that's really hard for all of us, right? We have our identity in our work a lot. And so, yeah, for some, you just want to still empathize and understand. You're like, I get it, this is weird. But I think you have to decide, how are you going to use this moment to transform your own job, all of us. It doesn't matter what job you have, even if you're a successful software engineer. I've seen some of them struggle because, frankly, an amazing engineer is now probably about as good as a good engineer with AI. That is very weird and disruptive to that person who is used to being an expert and seen that way. So that expert, what they should be doing is becoming experter. Like, how do I use those tools to be even more exceptional? But anybody who just goes, I'm good, I'm going to stay here, is literally falling behind. And that is hard to embrace, but that's the reality. So a lot of exceptional people are about to become average.
Got it. Wow. Any advice for new age learners on balancing traditional software engineering with the speed of modern AI-driven development? I think we touched upon that.
Talked on some. I mean, it's funny, someone else just grabbed me again at this other thing going, they're worried that people aren't going to learn any of the fundamentals. They're just going to learn how to send stuff to an LLM. I worry about that too, especially for younger folks who, if you can kind of cheat a little bit, it's hard not to. It's great when these tools, but I think we need the fundamentals, or else at some point, if all you're good at is asking the machine to do stuff, I could just replace you with something else that asks the machine that does stuff. So our fundamentals still matter. We should still be teaching younger engineers or people entering tech some of those core fundamental things so they know what they're doing. And software engineering, like we talked about, dependency management, testing, code delivery, quality tech checks. LLMs aren't good at that stuff. We're humans. We are good at a lot of that. So yeah, let's focus on what people should be great at, and then also how to use these machines smartly.
Got it. So along with that has started this trend of people who were non-tech, because they are able to learn and code and build stuff on their, particularly more than coding, it's building stuff for their use cases, for their businesses, or to even learn, continuously grow. So they are transitioning to AI, highlighting their specific use cases for that industry. But what would be your thoughts and entry points for them?
Yeah, look, some people I think our industry's promised for years, like, hey, a non-technical user can build workflows or do this. I don't think they wanted to. Like many people who are, it's like a finance expert, they don't really want to build software. They want to be a finance expert. But if they can use software really effectively, that's awesome. So I think there's different paths we should be teaching people. If you want to be tech adjacent and you just want to be good at using tech to do your real job better, we should be helping people with that. Because if you're just amazing at what you do, you're not looking to be a software engineer. You just now don't have to go hire someone extra, or you don't have to go beg someone to give you time. Great. Let's teach them to be builders on the side. And then some people literally do now want to jump in and say, wow, I can do software things now. What's the journey for someone from prompt engineer to programmer to software product engineer? Are we giving people that path? I don't know what it is, honestly. We need your help to figure out that journey, but that's going to be a popular path for people who are kind of just getting into this but still want to develop into really strong engineers. We got to build that path. What are those workshops? What are those skills? What are those certifications? I don't know, but we better do it, because there's a lot of people coming into this field who need a path, and no one's giving it to them right now.
Yeah. So all of the folks in the room today and also in the call, most of them have communities of their own as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so they have developer communities, and I think everyone is at that intersection right now, wondering who are we effectively serving? Like, are we looking at people from engineering background, because they already know what they have to know? Of course, we are introducing them into the new age or the new services and new products and features getting launched at Google if they are part of the Google communities.
Yeah.
Similarly, everything else that you do, the tech stacks and frameworks. What do you think community leaders should be focusing on when it comes to serving their developers in this time and age? Like, what is the most top 5 things that, or whatever, top 3 or top 5, whatever is in your mind about how can we get them onboarded? Because everything is out there, vibe coded and other things. Why would they come to a workshop, or why would they come to a room and sit and listen to us talk about, like, of course we talk about putting the pieces together and delivering value to the ideas that they have. But still, it's what is so impactful that they would want to come to a room rather than vibe code themselves?
Yeah, I mean, if we could do things ourselves, I guess there's something there. But look, human nature says that we fear losing something more than we want to gain something. We have a real aversion of losing things. And so even if you're positioning this for a lot of people, like, you're building software that's unbelievable, come to this workshop to find out how this doesn't get you fired. Yeah, I don't want to get fired. I'm really scared of, hey, how do you not want to get sued by your customers because you just leaked all of their data? My gosh, I don't want that. So in some cases, it's not about scaring people, but fear is a bigger motivator than success, to be honest with you. So I think, how do you make sure people realize that these things can be fun, but there are risks, and that you've done the first step? That's amazing. Guess what? Our community is here to get you to the next step. Can you be everybody's next step? It's amazing you started here. congratulations, that's amazing. You learned on your own, you took training, you vibe coded. Now what? And for most people, you got to make sure they realize there's a now what. If they think they're done with that first step, it's a mistake. And so how do you make sure that you've reduced your risk? How are you selling that? Like, we're going to make sure that this is the safe way to do fast stuff. And we're going to teach you the step by step, make this a continuous learning thing. I think you'll have more luck with that than just here's how to vibe better.
That's a great point. So I mean, I had another question about continuous unlearning, but I think I kind of tweaked that for this one. But if you were to say that these are the things that the community has to focus on in 2026, do you have any ideas like that for developer communities? Aspects of software engineering?
Yeah, I mean, I know I've said it a few times this week at some other things. I just think, how do we focus on the what and the how? There's the how, all this AI dev tooling, anti-gravity, Gemini CLI, what are all the ways I build agents, those sorts of things. But there is the what. There's like, yes, I'm building agents, AI apps, new types of mobile experiences. Both of those are really interesting, and they're both happening at once. So you can do one without the other. You can use cool AI tooling to build weird legacy apps. You can do that. And you can use, amazing tooling or, build amazing agents with old tools. Like, you can do those things. But most people are doing both. And they're using really interesting tools to build really new things. How are you helping people focus on both in responsible ways that are fun, giving them use cases? I mean, I've been so impressed this week on how creative everybody here is. But sometimes people are just also looking for inspiration and ideas. What are interesting markets I should go into? Where are there opportunities? Sometimes maybe now you're more in this sparking inspiration business than teaching people business, because they can learn on their own. But you also have to give them ideas of what's possible and how to do it safely and all of that. But yeah, like you said, even with learning, unlearning, I just think hopefully for most this year, learning will not be a thing you do, it's a lifestyle you have. Because everything you learned last week will not matter too much in 2 months. That's so weird, because that has not been the case for most of us ever. But because there's always a new framework, there's always a new pattern. Oh, forget that pattern, that's a terrible pattern, do the new pattern. That means that we have to do learning as a lifestyle. And how do you facilitate that? How does it almost become habit forming, addictive, not in a bad druggy way, but a way like, I can't wait to do the next Hack Weekly challenge and the hackathon. I can't wait to learn, oh, there's a new thing, let me go check that out. How do we build, not a FOMO either, because you don't want people stressed out because they're always falling behind. That's also terrible. And there's no reason for that. But continuous learning is the only way any of us are going to have successful careers for the next decade. Because if you just lock in that I am an expert today, the half-life of that is so short right now. So how do we foster that and encourage people to not just give up after coming to a session for 2 times or whatever? How do they attend all 13 seasons of Code Vipassana? Unbelievable. But that's a thing. And doing that means that you're staying ahead of everybody else. And back to your very first question, I think if our community is identified by that if you're in the general Google developer community, and especially led by folks like you all, you're just better at this than everybody else because you're more committed. You have a better community of continuous learners because whatever, we do what our community does. Like people follow the groups they're in. You are who your friends are. And so if your friends are people who are continuously learning and upskilling, and that's your vibe, that's your group, you're going to do it too. So are we building those communities of continuous learners, and it's easier for people to follow along.
That's so great, Richard. Thanks for those insights.